Welcome back to my channel. It is a brisk day here in Oregon. Super cold, but I wanted to share the 5 things that I love about my 2016 F30 BMW 340i. Hopefully this video helps some of you if you're in the market for a F30 335i or 340i. Essentially they're the same car, but there's some differences. But I want to tell you guys the 5 things I love about my car. Now I'm gonna break it down starting from 5 and then working my way down to 1, which is the number 1 thing that I love about my car. But you guys can probably see the garage is a little messy. Starting to get a lot more parts in, starting to get a lot more tools. So I made a space here where I'm gonna go to Home Depot today and buy a shelf so I'm a little more organized, so I know where all the parts are. But anyway, that is for another video. But let's start with number 5 on the 5 things that I love about my car. I love the sound of my 340i. The inline 6 twin scroll single turbo, it has to be one of the best sounding engines BMW has ever made. And that was one of the things why I bought the 340i. I looked at older M3s and looked at, you know, older M2s or newer M2s. And the one thing with the newer M engines that come in the M3, M4, the M cars have the S55 engine, which is an inline 6 twin turbo. And you guys have probably heard a lot about those engines sounding like lawnmowers, or they just sound like crap. And that is because they have unequal length downpipes. And there's a lot of companies that sell equal length downpipes for those M cars with the S55 engine, and it makes the car sound a lot better, kind of like the B58 engine. But whereas the B58 engine is an inline 6 twin scroll single turbo, and it has one downpipe, obviously, and it sounds so good. So that, and my car has a stock exhaust, stock downpipe, downpipe coming soon, but just with the stock exhaust alone, the car sounds really good. So I love the sound of my car. All right, on to number 4. So one of the reasons why I went with the 340i instead of the 335i and both F30 cars is the chassis. Now, the 340i, the LCI, has a couple updates to its chassis. It has a few more mounting points in the front that make the front a little more stiff, but they also changed some suspension geometry in the 340i compared to the F30 335i. And I test drove both, and I can honestly say maybe the 340i felt a little bit heavier, but the one thing to know is that the 340i is near perfect chassis balance. So it's almost 50-50 weight distribution, which is really good. And not a lot of people talk about that with the 340i. And a lot of people say the 335i is a little bit more balanced, but I'm not too sure that's completely accurate. But I love the way this car handles. And especially when you have good tires. I have the Continental Conti Sport Contact, and this car grips so well in corners, and I just love how it handles. I haven't done anything to the suspension yet, but I have a few plans for the future. But as a bone stock 340i M Sport, the car handles amazing. All right, on to number 3. So I was looking for a long time when I knew I wanted to purchase a BMW, either F30, 335i or 340i. And the one thing is there's a lot of good 335i's and 340i's out there, but not all of them have the M Sport package. And in my opinion, the 335i's and the 340i's that are non-M Sport, they just don't look that good. And so when I found my car, it had everything I wanted. It had the M steering wheel, had the ZF transmission, and it had the M Sport bumpers. And the only thing the car did not come with was the track and handling package, which you get a different steering rack and then you get the better brakes. But in my opinion, the stock brakes on my car are really good. So I have no complaints, but you know, maybe in the future I might want to try and source some M Performance brakes. But that's the only thing my car didn't come with. But the reason I got this car is because the M Sport body, and I love how it looks. Now, you guys can see I did the side marker delete, so that's black and that's all color matched. And then it has the M Sport wheels. And then if you come back to the bumper, and as you guys saw in my previous video, I have the M replica exhaust tips, and that makes it look a lot cleaner in my opinion in the back. But the M Sport body kit is definitely the way to go, and I absolutely love how the car looks. And once you lower the car and get some spacers and everything, the car will even look better. So, and also the car came with the black grille, which I would have done anyway, but I just love how this car looks. I love the body. I love how aggressive it looks from the front. So really like how the car looks from a stance point. On to number 2. So one of the other big reasons that I went with the BMW 340i out of even other car brands and models is that the interior in these BMWs is so nice. And let me show you what I'm talking about. The first thing is I don't have full-on sport seats, but these seats in the F30 are so comfortable, and the bolstering for non-M seats is really good, and the support is really good. And you know, I don't have huge back problems, but these seats are so good for long drives. This M Sport steering wheel is so nice, and I just love getting into my car every morning and driving this car just because the steering wheel just makes the interior. Moving on to the stereo, my car has the Harman Kardon stereo, and this stereo for a stock system sounds so good. You know, I listen to a lot of rap and hip hop, and I also listen to rock, but really any genre of music, the stereo sounds so good and the bass is so deep. And that is one thing, I really don't focus on how good stereos are in cars when I'm buying them, but this stereo is by far one of the best stock stereos I've ever had. And under the seats, you know, you might be able to see right here, each seat has a small sub under it, and so when you play a song with a lot of bass, it sounds really good. My car, like I mentioned before, is a ZF transmission. I absolutely love this transmission. It shifts so fast and so smooth and feels so good. I absolutely love it. So if you're going to get a newer BMW, definitely go with the ZF transmission. Again, that's just my opinion. This is the bigger screen, so this is the LCI screen. My car does not have Apple Play, but in the future, I want to get the adapter for the BMW, so I can do Apple CarPlay. And I love music, so having Apple CarPlay in the car and being able to use other apps will be worth it to me. So that will be something I'll do in the future. But again, I love this interior in this car. And finally, what I love most about this car is the engine. The B58 engine is the most fun engine out of any car I've ever owned. And I've owned a Corrado VR6, I've owned a Mitsubishi Evolution, I've owned a 350Z Pro-Charged, what else? I've owned a Subaru STI, and I can honestly say, guys, this engine pulls so hard and is so smooth, and it will put you back in your seat. And I honestly wake up every morning looking forward to driving to work because the engine sounds so good and it's so powerful. And also, I've had the car for almost 7 months now, and it hasn't given me any trouble, knock on wood. I've done all the maintenance on it, and the most important thing with high performance engines, and I'm calling that a high performance engine, that you need to have consistent oil changes. You can't do the 8,000 mile oil changes, even if you use full synthetic oil, because the Vanos system can get clogged, and that's where the Vanos system starts to malfunction and have trouble, is oil that's been heated up in too many heat cycles will start gunking up those solenoids in the Vanos system, and then that's where you get trouble. So always use good oil, always oil or get oil changes every 5,000 miles, and also make sure you use good gas. And those are the things that I've been doing since I've owned the car, is consistent oil changes with really good full synthetic oil. And getting, in Oregon, we have 92, so always using Supreme gas. And these engines will treat you well, so just stay up with your maintenance. But I absolutely love this engine. So I want to give you guys a little bonus. And a lot of the times when you buy a sports car, a lot of people will talk about gas mileage and how much it costs to fill up your car, and is your car getting 18 miles per gallon or is it getting 10? And I can honestly say this car, and I don't drive it really hard, but I do drive it and have fun. And the one thing that really shocked me is to fill up the car with Supreme 92 gas here in Oregon at $3 per gallon. It's $44 to fill up my car. And again, that's with Supreme gas. And I don't have a huge commute to work, but I don't have a short one. And I can go on a full tank of gas with, getting on it from time to time, driving back and forth to work. I can almost get 2 weeks out of one tank. And I think that is really good for a car that has really good performance, a sports car. I think that is super reasonable. So if you're looking for a sports car that gets decent gas mileage, handles well, and has really good performance, again, these cars are amazing. Well, that is it for the video, guys. I hope that is helpful. If you are looking for a BMW 340i, I highly recommend getting this car. I absolutely love it. And I don't know if this has happened to you guys, but when you buy a new car and then after 6 months, you're like, I don't know if I like this car anymore. That would happen to me a lot. And I can tell you, since buying this car, I have had no buyer's remorse. This car was exactly what I was looking for. So if you guys are in the market for a 340i, definitely get the M Sport and definitely buy the car, because you will not be disappointed. So Thanks again guys for watching. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I will catch you in the next video.